episode of Desire to Inspire, yo mama's favorite podcast and the #1 unknown podcast in the world. D-Thack, how we doing, baby?
Doing good, man. So honestly, the earliest I've woken up this week. Been a little sleepy boy.
I thought you were sleeping in a little bit this week, but I wasn't too sure.
I mean, sleeping in for us is still not really sleeping. I'm still up by before 6.
Yeah.
But this was the earliest one, before 5 today.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, speaking of waking up and different times and stuff, does the time change mess with you?
It did. The first day is usually the worst because I got my sleeps off and I had to go serve at church. So I have to be there by 7. So it felt like I had to be there by 6. So like I wanted to run beforehand. It didn't happen. I woke up like, not a chance, dude. Straight back to sleep. But like after the first day, no.
Yeah. I never thought that they like mess with me, but it was so weird. I don't know why this time around. I feel like I heard so many people say how much the time zone messes with them. And I'm like, does it really? Like, it never affects me. And I don't know if it was one day because my mother gave me a show to watch called it's like The Memory of a Killer. Yeah, The Memory of the Killer on Hulu. And it is so good that when I put it on for like my hour stint at night, I'm up for another episode. And now I'm going to bed an hour later. So I don't know if that's what messed with me or not. Because typically I'm just like, I look at the clock and I'm like, okay, cool. It's kind of like when we were talking about the batteries and the sleep scores and all that. I'm like, I just feel a certain way when I wake up.
Yeah.
Like, I know I sleep good. So, but yeah, it was one day, man. I set the alarm for 4:30, 4:45, and I didn't get out of bed until 7:15. I didn't even know I turned the fucking thing off.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Logos, Fred, 7:15. I'm like, oh no.
I know.
I didn't know.
No, it doesn't. It messes with like my mood because this sun is nice.
So nice, bro.
I can run in the evening if I want to. It's also helped that it's been 80 degrees here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Except for this morning, it's like 30 again. But yeah, doesn't like affect my sleep after the first day.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
You're just getting lazy.
I still don't fully even understand the whole time change thing and why we need it.
I mean, seeing how much more sunlight we have, I understand, but just leave it here then. Just leave it here forever.
Yeah.
Don't go the other way.
Yeah. My one buddy that lives in Arizona, he was like, we don't even do it here.
It's so weird, bro. When Justin lived in Arizona and I lived in Colorado, there was sometimes we were an hour apart and sometimes we were the same time zone, and I never knew which one it was.
It's so weird. He's like, yeah, we're just on mountain time now. But like theoretically, doesn't that mean that they do it then?
No, because when mountain time switches, they just stay on mountain time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like right now it's 4:21. Even when it becomes 3:21 in the fall, it'll still be 4:21 there. It just stays the whole year.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing that is very interesting that I don't really understand is, what are your thoughts on like the war that's going on?
Dude, as soon as you said another thing that's interesting, I was like, he's about to say some stupid shit right now. Can I be honest with you? If like people in real life didn't talk about the war that's going on, I would have no idea the war was going on.
There's somebody very close to me that 5 days in didn't even know that we were in a war. I was dying laughing.
To be honest, like, has war been declared?
I think so, yeah.
Or is it like we're just bombing stuff?
No, I think it's declared because there's like 20 countries involved in it now or something.
I still don't know about it then. I don't want to know.
No.
So like, let's not get into it.
Oh, hell, dude, I don't know anything about it to get
but
into
the
it.
only reason that I even have like an inkling that things are going on is that like I'll see like war is going on and I'm getting ready for my long run. It's like bombs are dropping. It's like this dude just getting ready to go on a run.
I've been seeing those like memes of people and it's like, Iran this, Israel this, and it's like, but I ran 5 mile and it was real or something. Yeah, no, we definitely both not educated in that front to even give that a little bit of attention.
If you know me, then you know I love a good beer, but I also like waking up early to train. That's where Athletic Brewing Company comes into play. Athletic makes award-winning, non-alcoholic craft beer that taste like the real thing because it is the real thing, just without the alcohol. These are for people who train hard, who chase goals, who live active, but still appreciate cracking open something cold at the end of the day. And here's what we love most. Choosing athletic isn't about removing something. It's about keeping everything that matters. Flavor, ritual, social moments, and still being able to perform tomorrow. So if you want a beer that fits your lifestyle instead of fighting against it, hit up Athletic Brewing Co. and use code Dylan20 for 20% off your first order. Back to the show.
Quick pause to shout out one of the brands we've been repping lately, Optic Nerve. If you spend time running, grinding outside, or just living life in motion, these are the kind of shades that work. Optic Nerve has been around for over 4 decades, building sunglasses that blend real performance and clean style. The polarized lenses deliver 100% UV protection, cut glare, and keep your vision sharp, whether you're hitting a morning run, midday errands, or winding down after. We use this because for us, it's not just about looking good. It's about practicality and comfort. So if you're tired of cheap shades that don't hold up, hit up Optic Nerve. Go to opticnerve.com and grab you a pair today. Use code DTI at checkout and you'll get 20% off. Back to the show. So I apologize for that. No, I don't.
And I'm a veteran. Just does it.
Do you think that it is good or bad to be disconnected from the things going on in the world? Like just everything going on in the world that some people hyperfixate on?
I mean, I'm biased. I'm going to say it's good, but that's a biased view.
Yeah.
Because obviously, there's things that are important. Like if this was to come onto American soil, obviously we need to know. And we should probably know before it happens. I'm not sure that I would. No, at that point though, you have no way of avoiding it.
Yeah.
9/11 happens, it's not like you can just tune out of it's everywhere. It takes over the media.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. Maybe I should care. But I'm probably going to catch a lot of shit for this, but I don't.
Yeah.
War is inevitable in the world. People can say, oh, no, there should be, no, it's literally impossible. There's too many people with too many differing opinions and different views. You're never going to avoid it. So why would I even give my time and energy to it?
Yeah.
I personally can't make a difference. Another place people are going to give me shit. But also, you're not going out on the front lines. You're not shaping the way that politics plays out. So how are you actually changing it? Fucking giving thoughts and prayers and posting a TikTok about it? That's not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There was for a couple of days, I felt like I just kept seeing it on my feed. And the general consensus is we obviously don't want war for this world.
Mm-hmm.
That's how both of you and I can imagine,
Sure.
agree on that. But I started to think, and I'm like, do I need to be educated on this? But it's the same thing. I live in Charlotte. I don't know what the fuck's going on unless I see something like what happened to that girl on the light rail where
Right.
it gets massive news, but there's things going on all the time. I don't know. I think I focus on what I can control and focus on that because it's just if you focus on, we talk about all the time, the wrong habits and stuff like that, you'll go down the wrong path and a dark path. And so it's just, I don't know if there's more that I need to do because I grew up watching my granddad read the newspaper and watching the news, but I feel those times were very different on the information that was collected in those things.
We go to Mandy's parents, the news is on a 24/7 cycle. It's the only thing on TV. And I don't get it, actually. I'm not even going to sit here and lie and say I get it.
Yeah.
But there's good and bad happening in the world at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So if you focus on the negative, you're only going to continue to see the negative. It's the same shit that we talked about with our feeds and our algorithms. The more you feed into it, the more that's what you're going to see.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Speaking of, no, I won't use that to connect this.
I thought I knew where you're going. I was excited.
But talking about battling through things and being dialed in and focusing on certain things, your time on 75 Hard is getting wrapped up. And I almost didn't want to touch on it this episode. But I do want to talk about it some because it's a huge milestone for you and for everybody listening. Next week, this podcast you will be hearing, but the following week there will not be one. Correct. Okay. So we do sporadic off episodes. They're programmed into how many we do in one season. So after you hear this episode, there won't be one the following week. And that's why I want to touch on the 75 hard now. Leave your race stuff for the race stuff.
You were for sure going to say what I thought you were going to say.
How's 75 hard going?
It's going good, man. Like, now that I see what topic we're on, you were for sure going where I thought you were going to go. You know, you can scribble on a note.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to do that, but
you know, you can also scribble on FaceTimes.
For real?
Yeah, on the screen. When I'm FaceTiming Matt, he always draws penises.
I don't really FaceTime that often.
Me and
But
him FaceTime daily.
Oh, I know he does. I'm on day 72 right now as of recording this. So we're pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I almost failed the other day. I didn't take a progress photo, but luckily I had taken a shirtless pic at the gym earlier just because the lighting was good. So I technically took a progress photo. But I didn't intentionally take a progress photo. I woke up the next day. I'm like, oh my God.
Damn.
And I usually do it first thing in the morning. Like, I don't know why I didn't that day. It's like I'm literally brushing my teeth, just taking a picture in the mirror. Yep. There's a lot of those. But it's going good.
Going good?
I mean, I don't want to say like it felt easy, but it kind of felt easy. And I was looking. You know when the last time I did 75 hard was?
2018.
Nah, it's farther. I didn't think it was that far. It's 2021. It's 5 years ago.
Damn.
I was like, wow, I didn't realize. I honestly thought it had been less time. But I guess I've been here longer than I think I have.
Yeah. What are we in, 26? Yeah, I guess that would make sense because didn't both you and I do it at the same time when I was in Dallas?
I don't know. I did it like the day that I moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
So I truly don't remember.
5 years. Wow. That's crazy. What's different this time than when you did it the first time?
Differences for sure is the fact that I have more pressure. Not pressure, but like I have more opportunity to drink now. I just moved to Colorado, so like I didn't have anybody really to go out with.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was nobody like asking me to go out. Now like I've been out multiple times. I go out weekly pretty much for trivia, and they all drink. I had a little non-alcoholic on Wednesday. Just one. Nice having a $6 tab though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Other than that, the biggest difference is that I'm in training. Like 2021, I was not training for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the biggest thing.
Did you learn anything new about like your identity as a person? The, I guess, pros and cons of doing it and not doing it? Because I look at 75 hard, just like we've talked about before. To me, it is extremely extreme for for people who are not in a space to give that much effort. So like, I know a lot of people see 75 hard and they're like, I'm going to do it. But I wonder what the success and fail rate is of 75 hard.
Super high fail has to be.
Yeah. Because again, a lot of people step into that not understanding the discipline that it does take to be able to achieve that. And yeah. So what'd you learn? I don't want to say what I was going to say.
I think that a lot of the things are already pretty baked into my lifestyle at this point. Like it's more just getting strict with alcohol, getting strict with my diet. I think that in terms of like the identity piece that you asked, not necessarily that like I found my identity, but I think that I stepped more into who I want to be more than like who I was. And I think like that's kind of where this topic comes from, which is wild what you were going to say. Wild.
Onward.
And so I'll let your guys' heads run wild because the topic that I sent Fred was the old you has to die. And so if you need a little hint here, he was tying that into war. Kind of fucked up if you ask me. But anyway.
He's putting words in my mouth.
Yeah, welcome to the club, dude.
No, what I was going to say is you've been going to war lately, like with yourself and the things that you've been doing. Like that's how.
Is that actually what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, speaking of people dying. You said
no, dude, I would never do that. I would never do that.
I actually don't believe you. I feel like this is for the cameras.
No, I don't play around with death, bro. That is crazy.
Oh, I'm just exposing myself every day, dude. But yeah. So Wow, yours wasn't even bad. Then you could have just said that.
I could have. War is a sensitive subject, and I didn't want to be like facetious about it.
All right, man. I guess I made it worse. So anyway, I said that the old you has to die, and I feel like we've touched on this topic before. We've danced around it, and we definitely speak it to an existence. But I was journaling the other day, and I just started thinking, like, we say these things, but has the old me ever actually died? And where I kind of got to on this perspective was that I don't think that he necessarily has. I think I've more so just like shoved him in a closet so that I could like bring him out whenever I want to.
Okay.
And it's more like, oh, come on, dude. Like,
Hey, little buddy.
let me put this skin back on and fucking act like this for a little while. And then like sometimes you just forget you have it on and it goes a little too long. And so it's like, maybe I actually got to kill this person.
This reminds me of this fucking Sydney Sweeney movie that you had me watch, or that you watched at the movie theater with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and watched it. That movie still lives rent free in my head today.
I bet it does.
If you know, you know.
Oh man. But yeah, so like that was like the new perspective that I'm having on this is like maybe I need to kill him.
So what attributes or what
Come on, dude.
things are you fucking shoving with that guy in the closet?
I mean, I think we know.
The
it's-
drinking and
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like the drinking in isolation. Like it's what spawns from over drinking. Cause like I don't think that there's like a problem having some drinks. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that, which we've spoken to at length. But I think the problem comes when like it gets out of hand and like you start drinking in the morning and then you're out to eat and you eat like shit. You continue later and then the next day you're hungover. So it's like, let me go drink because I'm going to feel better if I just go have a drink. And that never turns into just a drink. And now you're on this whole weekend where Monday morning rolls around, you wake up and you don't want to go do anything. So now, even though in like, if you want to go like big scheme of things, let's just put it into an actual context. I have been sober now since early this year, the whole year. And I plan to, at most, I'm going to have a beer after the race just because it's there. I feel like it's kind of cool.
Yep. 12 a.m.
Yeah, something like that. And then I don't plan on drinking again until the bachelor party. And so if I do that, that's going to be a weekend that gets away from me. Without a doubt. As much as like I try, and I'm trying to get it around, like in my head, that I'm going to stay dialed. But like realistically, we're celebrating me. What are the odds that like I keep it fully locked in? But this is the guy that I'm afraid I'm dragging out of the closet just to fucking put on this little show and dance for everybody because that's what they expect out of me. And that's genuinely, bro. I know it's funny, but like I'm being so serious. Like I feel like it's expected, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't want to do it, I feel like I have to do it. Like it's just who I am and what and it's not, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But that's an internal thing. And so that weekend can go south. And even if that's the only weekend that does, and I'm good for another month, like how much does that affect the week after in terms of recovery, in terms of what I eat, in terms of how I feel, in terms of the thoughts that enter my mind? And so there's a lot of factors that can come into play if I allow it to slip even for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could very easily, especially like being out of race, being out of prep, all that kind of stuff, like it could very easily go south. But it's like you said, having like changing that identity of like who you are, and like you said, not living up to the perception that other people have and falling back into that trap or whatever it is, because this goes way fucking further than just drinking, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like we talk to a lot of fucking people, and every single person that we talk to, I feel like we do good at having more like open conversations with people instead of just like surface level ones. And each person has something that they want to work on or they want to change or they want to go after. and we're around a lot of people in communities and stuff like that, which it is important. Get in a fucking community. I can't stress it enough. Like, dude, I would pay any money to be in Caleb's community. Like, it's so beneficial to just think and act differently. You hear different stuff. And so, like, massive shout out to him, because he put so much time and effort into his community and resources, and just it curates a group, and it just naturally motivates you to be like, all right, this is why I'm doing it. Like, outside of everything else, this is why I'm doing it too, because these other people are going through the same thing, or they've made it out of it, and now they're getting X, Y, and Z from it. And so, I think a lot around the people that I interact with on a daily basis and stuff. And I know that we're all going after things, and some people literally have to like change their life, kill their old self has to die, whatever that is, to be able to see the light in this new direction or new realm. And it comes with everything from how do you maintain your house? How do you maintain your hygiene? How do you maintain your relationships? What do you let your focus be on? Because for so long, I think people stay so complacent in life because they're scared of that change. As you know, there's a lot of change going on in my family right now with geographically, like where are they going to move, all that stuff. And I see how much change can affect people, even though there's something positive on the end of it. But if you're in an unhealthy relationship, if you're in unhealthy friendships, if you're in an unhealthy job, if you're in an unhealthy lifestyle, and just how you interact on a day-to-day basis with the way you treat things, the way you talk to things, the way you talk to yourself, all of that shit plays a factor on then what you go and pursue in life. And so again, to not have change, the easiest thing is just to comply with what's going on in life, and you go through the motions. But going through the motions and not actually putting an emphasis on these things gets you so far into a dark hole that you don't realize that when you do, you're like, have I really been like this for this long? Have I really let all of this slip aside? Like, where did my boundaries go? Where did the respect for myself go? And that might be the thing, is like, maybe we don't have enough respect for ourselves to actually make the decisions and change the mindset to be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't give a fuck what I've thought in the past. Like, this is what I want now, and this is what I'm going to go after, and I'm going to do everything I can. And it's killing that old identity, creating a new one to then go and persevere in life to reach every dream, goal, aspiration that you have, to see the light at the end of the tunnel that really wasn't that far away. You just changed the direction and the things that are important to you to be able to go out there and actually get it and achieve it and see it come true.
Yeah, I think like for a lot of people, they get comfortable in it and they don't realize like what it actually is holding them back from. And so I even like get not nervous to like, I just feel bad that I echo the same thing over and over. But I think that I do it because this is like people's reality though. Like they have one issue that just keeps rearing its head. And no matter how much they want to change that issue and how much they change other things, it's like somehow that thing always comes back. And so this really has nothing to do with anyone else but me at the end of the day. Like, I'm the person who can make this change. And I know that even if I make, and this is the real fucked up part, is that I know that if I like actually went all in and made, I would catch shit. I could say I'm never drinking again, and I would catch shit for a little while. But eventually everyone's just going to understand that I don't drink. And I think that the biggest like view into this has been Jared. I didn't expect him to like come out the other side of this and just keep going. And number two, I didn't expect everybody to just accept it the way that they have. Genuinely, dude. Like the friend group that we have, I didn't expect everybody to just be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like full on vacations, bachelor parties, no alcohol. And I'm like, number one, I'm impressed. I'm real impressed. Number two, how? How do you do it? But actually, I don't. It does not compute in my head.
It's the pros and cons. He weighed the pros and cons, and he's like,
I weigh the pros and cons. I know that the pros outweigh the cons, and I can't stop. I'm not meaning to bring this back to another conversation on my alcoholism. I really didn't expect the whole episode to stay here because I think that it's deeper than that. And I would argue it's not alcoholism if I can just stop for 72 days, no problem. Like, not one issue. But I just, know how good that I feel, and I look back at times that I've done similar things, and I know how good I felt then. And how do I keep this going without strict parameters in place?
If you care about putting in work, whether it is crushing workouts, staying sharp during long days, or just doing right by your body, First Form gets it. First Form isn't about the hype. They build on quality, stand by service, and measure everything by real-world results. Their lineup covers it all. Top-tier protein powders, clean pre-workouts, vitamins, green support, and energy drinks. Even apparel for lifestyle. My go-to, their flagship protein and their clean energy drink. Perfect for after a tough session or to get dialed in for a long day. The energy drink drops 200 milligrams of natural caffeine from green tea, has zero sugar, electrolytes, and nootropics for focus, all without the crash of traditional energy drinks. So if you're done settling for mediocre supplements, if you want stuff that's built on intention, integrity, and performance in mind, check out First Form. Head over to firstform.com/DTI to browse their full stack and see what fits your goals. All right, let's get back to the show.
If you care about staying sharp, energized, and ready to perform, Ketone IQ might be for you. Ketone IQ delivers clean, stable energy without a crash. Unlike caffeine-heavy picks, Ketone IQ uses exogenous ketones that raise your levels, giving your body and brain a different kind of fuel. What that means for you is sharper focus on early morning runs, better mental clarity when you're working or grinding through long days, and sustained energy without the jitters or sugar crash. If you want to try it out, head over to KetoneIQ.com and use code Dylan30 at checkout. You'll get 30% off your order. Back to the show. Like, without me having to completely uproot my life and say, I can't do this, because I think that that's the problem. Is like, if I tell myself it's out of the rules, it's like, okay. But when I say, okay, it's your choice now, if you want to cut loose, it's like there's this little fucking demon inside of me just waiting to break free and run wild.
Yeah. I think it too is like conducive to like environments and stuff like that. Like being down in South End when I used to live there, dude, I would be like, hell yeah, I'm going to walk to the bar right now, because you walk by it and you see a bunch of people out there. But like,
oh, when that sun was out this week.
Yeah. And you like catch the vibe of what's going on. But like when I'm at home, I might grill out and have a beer, but I'm not like, let me have another one and another one and another one. Like it's almost come easier where it's like this natural thing of just like, maybe I'll have one today, maybe I won't.
But even catching the vibe isn't even necessarily like, the drinking isn't the vibe. It's being outside and just hanging out with your people. So it's like, really, what's the difference?
Yeah.
If like we were just to go out on a nice day, sit around, and like we usually play games at the bar anyways. It's like, what if I just go play cards outside? It just feels different in my head. Even though I've been doing it, it's like I know that it doesn't feel. I literally, dude, I've had this conversation like 10 times on 75 Hard. We'll leave an event where other people were drinking. I'm like, that didn't even feel like any different. We went to pickleball. Everyone was drinking at pickleball. Kind of crazy, like, to think about it that way, because I know I would have been if I wasn't on 75 Hard. Like, we just played pickleball for 2 hours, and they're kind of putting them down. And I was like, damn, like, they're getting after it while they're playing the game. And I'm like, it didn't feel any different to not. We've been to, like, game nights. We've went out to the bar, and I'm like, it didn't feel any different. So how do I tell myself that when it's allowed?
Can you guys tell that he hasn't drank in 72 days? And for the people listening, when Dylan said earlier, drinking in the morning, he meant like going to brunch with people or waking up the next day after going out.
Yes.
Dylan was
not like waking up, rolling over, and grabbing a beer. I mean, like, you guys know what I mean. When you're hungover, it's just easier to start your day. That sounds bad too. To go out. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. though when I'm hungover. It's like 11. I need one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so readily available that I think that's why it's always top of mind and stuff like that. Because again, every single person and their fucking mom and dad and brother and sister do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's.
But do they anymore?
Yeah.
They're making it seem like this new generation doesn't drink the way that we used to drink.
I do think it's on a downward slope, which is good. But again, we're not really hanging out with.
You've been to South End recently? That's I don't even worry about catching a vibe there anymore because I'm the old guy.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time.
I mean, I wouldn't. It depends where you go, but like, I'm not just. Also, I don't want to be out at night, so that's the one thing I have going in my favor right now. Is he catching me out past 10 p.m.
Justin and them used to always go out for the Ohio State game, and they would start at like 10 o'clock in Arizona. They'd be home by like 2 or 3. I'm like, that is beautiful. There is no reason to stay out till 2 a.m.
That's what gets me, though. I go home at 2 to 3. I sit around for a little bit, and someone else is me up at 5. I'm ready to go again. I just got my recovery.
I don't know what to tell you, brother.
Me either. Moral of the story, dude, I'm never drinking again.
You guys heard it here first. Take the pool. I'm going to take the under, but I'm always going to support my guy, so maybe I'll bet a little bit on the over as well.
When all this shit first happened in Mexico and people were like starting to freak out about the bachelor party, I was like, maybe this is my sign. Cancel it. Just don't do anything.
Yet I still am in my head about my bachelor party and wanting to do stuff and not do stuff, but
I know that I'm going to regret it if I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I just can't bring this guy out of the closet anymore. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to have fun, but there's this is how we'll wrap up this topic. That's not to say like that I'm not going to drink and cut loose, but there's like a switch that gets flipped with me that is more of like a performative, I have to be this thing. And it's an internal thing.
Yeah.
As we've spoken about. But especially like around a certain group of people, or like I just feel like I have to be this certain energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to kill. That was what this whole conversation was about. Not about me like as an individual, or like I am who I am. That's not going to change. But there is levels to it that get pushed too far and go to an extreme when other things are at play.
Yeah.
And he's who needs to die.
I think that's why we need to be roommates in Mexico.
I would agree. I would argue that I need some kind of movement every day before I start drinking.
Yeah. I mean, because, again, like when we were on Tone's bachelor party, when we were on Matt's and stuff,
oh God,
I was probably the first one to go to bed every night.
I don't even care about staying up. It was...
No, but I'm just saying like that because that's what I wanted. And so like that allowed me to be like, look, I'm going to bed, guys. I still stayed up till 2 some of the nights, but like I wasn't drinking throughout like till the end of it. And so, but majority of the nights I would go to bed while everybody was still at partying. We went to that one bar at Tone's, I think it was like the last day. I didn't drink at all there because I was like, I don't want to. And so like there are ways, just like Jared does, like there are ways to eliminate things. And every single morning I woke up, I went and got a walk. Some of the days I got lifts like at Tone's because they had the gym there.
This resort has a nice gym.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be good if you and I stayed together because you told me one of the days to wake you up to go with me and you were comatose sleeping.
I mean, I did run there.
But yeah, and I think it rolls into a topic of that I brought up to you that I heard on the Skinny Confidential podcast about putting your own oxygen mask on first. And I think that this like goes into it because it can be used and tied to a lot of realms where like you're on a plane and they tell you like put your mask on first before you even help like your kids or anything like that. And I think that's like another analogy of like showing up for yourself first so you can show up for others around you. And so if you put that oxygen mask on, you have a better chance of helping other people and doing other things. And so like when I heard that topic, and we don't have to dive like too deep, but we can go however far you want. It really like I love analogies that tie things together. Like one of my daily drive-bys, I just talked about how we as humans need to take out our trash on a weekly basis. And it's not the trash that we put on the side of the curbs, but it's the trash that we look at on our phone. It's the trash, like the mental thoughts that we have where we like degrade ourselves or belittle ourselves. And so like, how can you clear your space in order to create that growth and kind of like remove that discomfort to get new comfort in your life and the things that you're doing? When I heard the analogy of put your own oxygen mask on first, I was like, man, this is like showing up for yourself, waking up at 4:35 a.m. if you're a morning person to get your workout in, then getting your journaling in, then drinking your coffee and having a slower morning. So that way you can then show up for work better. And then when work's over, you can show up for the family better if you have one. And it just keeps stemming from that. And so like the oxygen mask to me is like the healthy habits that we have in our life, because you're always constantly thinking about how can I be proactive instead of reactive in the things that I'm focusing on.
I actually haven't listened to that drive by. That had to be yesterday, right?
Last week.
Okay, I'm behind. But I think that what you said about like the growth piece of it, is like to clear it out so that you can have that growth and see that growth. I think that ties into like what I was talking about. I've seen the growth, and so I'm afraid that I'm gonna take out the wrong trash. Then I'm gonna set the wrong thing out to the curb. There's something in my throat. I do not.
There you go, buddy.
I was like, I do not want to do this in the microphone. But I think that that's the biggest thing, is that I feel like I've come a long, good way on this, and I just don't want to take out the wrong trash.
Yeah.
But 100%, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. This is basically the foundation of what we preach every single week, is that in order to help someone else, you have to help yourself first. And I would argue that you really can't help anyone if you're not helping yourself. Because you can tell somebody something all you want, but if they don't really want it for themselves, they're not going to do it. But you can at least model that behavior. You can show them that these are the things that I do, and this is the life that I have, and this is the growth I've experienced, and this is how I've came out the other side on a much better place, happier, healthier. And they're going to see that and inadvertently just go that way rather than you like forcing them into it. That's kind of like literally the entire chapter that I'm reading in this book right now, which was this morning before I came here, was around this topic. So like it ties in. But yeah, I don't think there's any way you can help other people without helping yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was like collecting thoughts around it, it was like thinking of it in a way where you can't help others if you're empty. And so like being empty would not be putting that oxygen mask on when it's needed. And being empty can look like a multitude of different things without you even realizing it. And so that's why taking out the trash and stuff like that, that is all of the stuff in life that is not propelling you forward. Mm-hmm. It's being around people that don't fit your narrative of like what you want in and out of life. And feeling empty is really like when you're not prioritizing the things in life to like get fulfillment out of it. And so sometimes that's being with the wrong person. Sometimes that's being around the wrong friend groups, like all of those things that we talk about. And so how do you just make sure that your tank is full at all times? And even when it starts to go down, like what are you doing to tailor and adjust it? I think it's just being aware of all of these different things in your surrounding, because if you're aware of your surrounding, you know that you got to take that oxygen mask, you got to put it on so that way you can keep moving forward. And it's in life. It's the social media we consume. It's the shows that we watch. It's all of those things that's giving us the proper oxygen that we need to be able to like achieve and accomplish or conquer whatever those, like I always say, dreams, goals, or aspirations are in life.
Mm-hmm. When you said empty, the first thing I thought of was a cup. And so it's basically the same analogy, but like you can't pour into somebody else if your cup's empty. So you need to fill your cup first, which is doing all of those things that are going to help you get better. Mm-hmm. For us, it's working out, it's waking up early, it's journaling, it's all of these practices that we have in place that take care of us. So we're filling up our cup so that we can help pour into other people. I think that that's the most important part, is that most people try to pour into other people, but it's from an empty cup. So then you're just burning yourself out. You're not enjoying it at all, or you're pouring the wrong things into them and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the strongest or best thing that you can do for those around you is to just show up on a daily basis for yourself. But it's so weird, dude, because like when people go through hard times, and I think back to my situation, I think back to like others in my like family and friends and stuff like that. When you go through a hard situation, it is challenging for those around you to like break through to you on the differences or the things that like they're noticing. Because like when you tell somebody like, hey, why aren't you as happy, or why aren't you as energetic? Why aren't you coming around as much?
like
Why
an
are you
attack.
sleeping more? Yeah. Feels like an attack. And then they get up in arms and defensive and stuff like that. But whenever they can come to break that cycle, they see it and it's like, oh my God, like, how did I get to this fucking point in life? And it's like, trying to tell you, trying to help you. But you can't see it until you want to see it. And it kind of like goes along with this whole conversation of you can't change anything unless you realize it yourself. But it's then doing all of those things and having all those things in your life around you that are kind of like tailoring towards that shift or change that you want. But we just get in our way so much as humans.
Yeah. 100%, dude. It's because we don't actually get rid of the things. We fucking shove them in a closet.
Yeah.
But it is true, though. Like, think about, like, even when people clean up their house, dude, they don't necessarily clean up. They just put it out of sight. And just out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's gone. It doesn't mean that you've taken care of it. So, like, just because you push something away doesn't mean that you've dealt with the problem. It doesn't mean that you've faced this negative thing in your life. Like, it just means you're putting it off until eventually it's gonna consume you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
And that's why I don't want to be me, guys.
Well, I know we got 2 other topics, but I don't know if you want to cover those today or save those for another episode.
Yeah, I don't think those are getting covered today.
Yeah. Wouldn't blend in well with this episode. But the moral of the story is don't shove things in a closet. Figure out a way that what's actually important. If not,
don't live in the closet, guys.
Don't live in the closet. Don't bury things in the closet because they're always going to show their face again. They're always going to come back out. And truthfully, like if something is that important to you, then you would figure a way to get out of it or to not do it or to get around it. And you would actually address that. And so if things keep shining light, if things keep coming to the surface, it's probably because you know that it's not to a point where it has to completely be eliminated out of your life. And so when that time comes where enough is enough, then that's when that thing will disappear forever. But there's just like different levels and attributes to it. So that's why you keep things top of mind, top of focus throughout everything, because those are the things, or that's the focus that will get you to change the narrative, change directions. And so with that, have the desire to inspire, go out there, kiss your mama, and have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Desire to Inspire podcast. And I will make this promise. If we do not have a guest on this podcast after we come back from our off week, then never tune into our show again.
Wow.
That puts pressure on us. We made the first move by getting the software. Now we just got to get the technology hooked up to it, and you guys will start hearing other people outside of us, because I want to just start getting the common everyday person on this episode to tell their stories, to tell the things that they're learning, because we see it from a firsthand for the clients that we like support and that we're helping. And dude, their stories need to be heard. We need to be heard. And that's going to help push this narrative forward, give some juice to this podcast from outside perspectives than just Dylan and mine. And I think that it'll continue to grow, elevate. And so I will make that commitment because we are almost there. We just got to finalize a couple things. And once we finalize those, we'll be able to take this thing to the fucking moon.
Watch our guests not be available now, and now no one's going to tune in.
Oh, I'll fucking have little Squirtle outside join this podcast if we have to.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't want to. So have the desire to inspire. Kiss your mama and have a great day. Have a great weekend. Whatever it is, that's all we got. It's on.
Peace.